Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach, every week multiplying life and money and business. Life is one big departure from the ideal scene. There is all kinds of adversity, there is departures, and what are you going to do when you have a negative in your day, a negative in your life? Today's show is about how you turn negatives into positives and how you can use your past struggle, your past experience, your past hardship, your past heartbreak, and package it up and sell it to the world that helps them build their bigger future. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and this is Super Coach. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt. Welcome to Super Coach Show. Man, I feel like I've just exposed my whole life on Facebook Live. My buddy Tommy Davidson, Good Time Tommy, said, man, you got to do more Facebook Lives. You got to let people into your life and see you. So last night I do a Facebook Live at my cabin. We had about 250, 300 people on there. Found out while I was doing the Facebook Live that I was booked to speak today to the Tennessee Christian Chamber. I had down August 30th. They originally scheduled me for the 30th. And then they had their dates mixed up, so I came back to Nashville today and did that. We did a Facebook Live there, and now we're bringing this to you, Super Coach, every Tuesday. I bring this show to you every week because I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I believe a good coach will have conversations with you you don't want to have, make you do some things you don't want to do, help you become something you didn't think you could become. You can follow me on Twitter at Micheal Burt. You can download the iTunes show at Super Coach. On Podcast Republic, on iTunes, please give us reviews, share it with other people. You can get your coaching. It's called emotional identification. You can get coaching from people you've never met before. So it's always cool to meet people that say, I watch your Facebook Live, I follow you, I bought your books. You can identify with the person and never meet them. You don't have to personally know a person to get coached by them. I listen to a guy named Jimmy Evans every night for sermons and every morning at Marriage Today, and I feel like he's coaching me. He's coaching me. And so today I'm going to coach you on something that happens every single day. How do you take a negative in life and turn it into a positive? Because in my notes, I wrote down these big things I want you to take away from today's show. It's 3 segments. Number 1, life is one big departure away from the ideal scene. So you come into the day, you come into the week, you come into life with an ideal picture in your mind. That's a mental construct. That's a visual. That's a vision. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. You come into the day with the mental construct of how it's going to go, what's going to happen, how you're going to do it. It's probably not 15 minutes into the day that you got a departure from the ideal scene. When you do experience this unwanted outcome, so we're going to give a definition to adversity. Adversity equals an unwanted outcome. You didn't sign up for it, you didn't want it, you didn't ask for it, but you got it. It's there. It's in your lap, okay? That's a departure away from the ideal scene. What is your habit when you have a departure away from the ideal scene? Is it bounce back fast? Is it use it to accelerate progress? Is it lay down and pout for 3 days? Is it to blame everybody else? Is it to point fingers? Is it to accept responsibility? What is your habit when you have a negative in the world? So we're going to talk about really 3 things today. How do we use your past struggle as the raw material for your bigger future? How do we use all that past ugliness of life that we've all got, by the way? All of our past demons, all of our past struggle, all of our past hardship, all of our past messes in life. How do we package all that up and actually use it to impact people in a bigger way for the future? That's what we're going to talk about in this segment. Then in segment 2, we're going to talk about the 5 rules of a crisis. When things do happen during the day that you don't like, how do you bounce back fast? And then we're going to finish the show today with self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? This is the most powerful conversations you will ever have, are the conversations you have with yourself. What are you telling yourself every single day? So let's get started here on this raw material, session 1. When you think about your past, let me put it in a framework for you. I am actually paying people to help me build my bigger future based on their past. You say, what are you talking about? Your past experiences, education, struggle. Your past is where you generated all this raw material that is valuable to me, valuable to others. What if I told you I was a losing coach? And you're not going to hire me to teach you how to win. What if I said I know how to win and how to lose? You know, I think about Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The subtitle says it all. What the rich teach their kids that the poor and middle class never did. I'm going to show you when I was poor. I'm going to show you when I was rich. I'm going to show you when I lost. I'm going to show you when I won. You know, I saw John Gordon Sunday night in New Vision Church. Great guy, very humble guy, godly man. And he wrote a book with Mike Smith, the coach of the Falcons. Mike Smith won more games in the first 5 years in NFL, only second to Belichick. But then his last 2 years, he lost, and he got fired. And he said, I know how to win, and I know how to lose. Your past is where all the raw materials are for your future. All of the negative, all the mistakes, all the hardship. And so I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee this week coaching a guy who opened up Gold's Gyms. He was a COO, high-level person at Gold's Gym, and Gold's would deploy him in to go in and merge or acquire gyms, get them up and going, get the sales going, get the marketing going, get the staffs going, and then Gold's changed CEOs and they fired this guy. And now he's just out there in the world trying to figure out what he wants to do, how he wants to help people. So I quickly listened to his story. I said, so you came in, started Gold's Gyms, got them up and running, got them profitable, got the staff together, and now you want to help other people. And I said, what you need to be talking about, you need to call yourself an execution specialist. You need to call yourself from idea to execution, because lots of small businesses need a guy like you who can take all of this stuff of coming into a new market, getting up. He lived in 23 different cities, all of this stuff, and they could use a guy like you to come in and take an idea, they make it up, and you make it real. And people would pay you to that. And I said people would pay you to either bake the cake with them. That means people would pay you to get in the boat with them and help them. And some people would pay you to sell the recipe to them in how you did it. And so I was telling him about my new Greatness Factory in Woodbury, and I said, we're opening up a little gym there. We may need your help because you got experience opening these Gold's Gyms up. This is going to be a full-body place at my little Greatness Factory, no weights. But we wanted to make it successful. We want to make it profitable so we can grow and hire people and expand. And I said, you just don't know how to package and sell your special. He just didn't know how to package it up so the world got it. So what I was, in essence, saying to him, let's go back to when you worked with Gold's Gym. Let's extract every skill set you ever got. Let's figure out how to package it up. Now let's go sell it. Let's call yourself for the execution specialist, from idea to reality. B2B COO, operation specialist. You got to quit looking at your past as a negative. The past is finite. The future is infinite. It holds unlimited possibility. All the good stuff is in your past. Here's the problem. You're not packaging it and you're not using it. Let me get you some kryptonite to get out of this segment. Today we're talking how you turn negatives into positives, how you take your past and turn it into positive. Here's your first kryptonite. You bounce back is slow and you stay down way too long. When you have a departure from the ideal scene in your mind, when you have an unwanted outcome, because of your scripting, because of your past, you immediately go to a negative place. And instead of saying, I'm going to use this as the raw material, you go to a negative place and you stay down too long. People that turn negatives into positives have very high bounce backs, very high resilience. And we're going to teach you how to do that in segment number 2. When we come back in segment number 2, I'm going to show you the 5 rules of a crisis. These are Coach Burt's 5 rules of a crisis. You're watching Super Coach or listening to me on iTunes. Thank you very much. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. Come on back in segment 2. Hey guys, I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Imagine starting your day off with the Super Coach. Imagine going to work and logging in for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even 15 minutes on your lunch break and getting some coaching on leadership, sales, personal growth, how to advance, how to be a monster producer. Well, we partner with Lightspeed Virtual Training to create the most comprehensive virtual training in the world so you can get the Super Coach every single day. We've got an expansive concept where we tackle operations, sales, leadership, management, personal growth, even a Christian series. And we can come in every single day and become a coach to you. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. we are now offering the Micheal Burt Total Growth Academy, and it has something for everybody. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, Super Coach. Welcome back to Super Coach. Every week, hey, I was just Facebooking live to all my friends out there. I want to thank you for joining me. Like I said, I've been putting a lot of stuff on Facebook Live. I believe your TV can be your coach. Your podcast can be your coach. It's kind of odd right here, Brandon, to see myself on the show right here. Look at me talking to my own self. But today I'm talking, how do you turn negatives into positives? If you got a comment for me, I would love to hear it. I know in our Monster Producer Coaching Program, there's a lot of big-time producers in there, guys. And the new program I'm pushing right now, Total Growth Academy, Coach Micheal Burt's Total Growth Academy, it has hundreds of hours of content. We have in there something called Performance School, Talent Supply, 90-Day Sales Manager, Monster Producer, Person of Interest. We got in there that's going to keep you motivated. Imagine going in there and getting coaching every single day. 15, 20 minutes a day, and me coming into your life and just trying to transfer my energy to you, my skill set to you. I'm very excited. Go to TotalGrowthAcademy.com or click on CoachBurt.com, coaching. And you can see all my big coaching programs. So I want to thank you every single week. Today we're talking negatives to positives. You know, speaking at the Tennessee Christian Chamber today, I talked about some of my negatives. From 20 to 30, I wasn't a hellion, but I was close. I worked hard. I played hard. I probably was hanging around some of the wrong people at times, but every more person I learned something from. I was in the bars too much. I was drinking too much. I was partying too much. I was goofing off too much. All of that becomes part of my story. All of that becomes part of my connectivity to the future. Me growing up in the small town of Woodbury, I thought was a negative for many years because it was such a small town. There's so few opportunities until I got out in the world and I learned that growing up in a small town could help me connect to anybody, anywhere, anytime. And so for you got to package up your past. And that's what we're talking about today. How do you turn a negative or perceived negative into something positive? Today you came into it with a mental construct. Here's what my day's going to look like. Here's how good I'm going to be. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how it's going to unfold. Very seldom works out that way. And when that negative happens, that departure, some people lay down, quit, blame, point fingers, make excuses. I got to get you bounced back fast. I got to get you saying, baby, that's just the raw material for something much bigger. Now, in this session, call it a session, it's really a segment, I'm going to show you the 5 rules of a crisis. What do you do when you have a crisis? Some people take something very small, turn it into something very big. Drama kings. Drama queens. What do you do when you have a departure from the ideal scene? So I'm going to give you 5 steps, or what's called 5 rules of a crisis. Jack Welch had 5 rules. His a little bit different than mine. But when you have something go wrong today, and it will, trust me, it's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to shut down, give up, give in, quit, not do this, not do that. You got to make a decision at that moment. Is this going to slow you down? You're going to get bitter, you're going to get better, as people say. So here's my 5 rules of a crisis. Number 1, when you have something negative happen to you, replace the question, why me? What's this trying to teach me? Why me? That's the first place everybody goes. Why is this happening to me? Why didn't it go the way I wanted to? Why didn't it come with a mental construct? Why is that person doing this? Why is this person doing that? Why did they not respond the way I wanted to them? Replace the question, why me? With, what is this trying to teach me? There's a lesson here. There's some raw material here. It's not going the way I want immediately right now, but there is something here for my bigger future. Number 2, you got to ask this question. What was my contribution to this mess? What was my contribution to this mess? And there is a contribution from you. It's easy for you to blame other people. Trust me. You got a contribution in this. You put your hands and feet in this too. So you got to say, I contributed to this negative outcome in this way. Number 3, you got to get stable. You can't make good decisions when you get emotional, when you get irrational. You got to calm down. You got to get stable. You got to just got to get to a good place, okay? Number 4, you got to get help. And this is the pride test right here. The pride test says that you need help right now in your life to go to another level. The pride test says you need another person to look at your life and look at your business, but you won't do it. The pride test says you're not coachable. The pride test says you're already the best at what you do. That's the pride test, guys. Pride is the seedbed of every sin out there in the world. Trust me. You're too good. You don't have time. You're not interested. And so for you got to get help, man. You got to reach out and say, there is somebody out there who can help me play at the next level. And the last one, you got to get busy. You got to take action. You got to move. You got to create energy. You got to take a negative and turn it into a positive. Okay? And so when you think about it, when they study happiness, psychologists, 50% of our happiness, they say, was determined by our parents. You got negative parents, you got negative disposition. You hang around negative people, you got negative disposition. Every day you listen to negative. I remember times in my life when I was struggling with confidence, struggling with money, struggling with direction, struggling with focus. Guess what kind of people I hung out with? Strugglers. I remember when they used to come over my house, we'd get together, we'd sit around by the pool, struggle together, commiserate. Then I had progressive friends that wouldn't hang out with the strugglers. I had struggling friends that wouldn't hang out with the progressives. And so here's what I understood. When you hear people say we become a sum average of the 5 people we hang around most, you got to play up. So what is it costing you? What is the true cost to you when you don't bounce back fast and take a negative and turn it into a positive? What does it cost you? It costs you time, which is a depreciating asset. It costs you money, for sure. Because what do? You sit around, you gripe, you bitch, you moan, you complain, you talk about it, you whine about it. If you travel with me in a day, and we're working on a documentary. I got Brandon working on this for me, trying to find a documentary person that travels with me for a day. I'd like for you to see all the people we coach, what I hear in a day. If I hear my business is unique, one more time I'm going to throw up. If I hear the same problems with the same people every time, I'm going to throw up. Everybody has problems, guys. What you do is, what is it you're going to do with those problems? And so it costs you money, it costs you energy, and here's what else I think it costs you. I think it costs you this role model in influence and leadership. People are looking at you to see how you handle adversity. You're the coach. You need to be steady. You need to be consistent. You need to be measured. You need to be well thought out. You don't need to get emotional and high and low. It's costing you some reputational capital. That's what it's costing you. How do you turn a negative to a positive? The first place people look when there's a negative in office is the leader. How does he handle it? Does he lose his composure? Does he lose his cool? Does he stay calm? Does he handle it? Does he weather storms? Does he bounce back? You can take that and infuse it and infect it into other people who work on your staff. Let me give you some kryptonite. Kryptonite is this: your self-talk is weak and negative, and you can't self-encourage. I remember my buddy Rick Clody. He really brought back to a memory of mine that we talked one day at breakfast, and he said, sometimes in life, there is no one there to encourage you. You know, in the Bible, it talks about God talking to his own self, and it said God said to himself that he was very upset when he created all the animals and the creatures and the humans because of the sin, because of the destruction, and he said to himself, I am upset with myself that I created all of this. Even God talked to his own self. It's in Genesis. And so what is your self-talk? Is it weak? Is it negative? Can you self-encourage? And that's really what we're going to move into in segment number 3, is what type of self-talk do you need every day so that when you do meet a negative, you quickly turn that negative into a positive? Because you're going to meet the negatives, guys. And your positive energy has got to be greater than any negative you're going to face today. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. I got one more segment. Hang with me for 7 more minutes, and we're going to get down to self-talk. And the number one job you got to sell to yourself is what you say to yourself every single morning. Hey guys, I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life, and one of the hottest programs we have out in 2016 is Turn Your Managers into Coaches. We want to take your current managers and teach them how to recruit and attract better talent, how to coach and develop that talent, and how to retain that talent. Most managers do not know how to coach and develop talent. That's why we developed this very extensive program, 12 modules. We can deliver it in one day. We can deliver it in 4 sessions, 6 sessions, or 12 sessions. All you got to go to managers2coaches.com and sign your team up so we can coach them up. And here's what's going to happen: more engagement, better cultures, better work environments, and you're going to get much more production. Turn your managers into coaches with Coach Micheal Burt. guys, welcome back. Super Coach. Every week, multiplying life, money, business, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can get this podcast, which is also a vodcast, by the way, which means you can watch it on iTunes. You can download it. You can listen to it. You can ride in with the Super Coach. Every single week, I bring you some good stuff, multiplying life, money, and business. What does a good coach do? Accelerate. Good coach finds and fills missing structures. A good coach helps you break through your ceilings. Some would call ceilings of complexity, a Dan Sullivan term. A good coach sells you on your future when you don't even sell yourself. A good coach sees something in you you don't even see and pushes you to get out of there. And I was thinking about this when I was writing the notes for today's show, Brandon, that I created those 5 rules of a crisis when I was coaching at Riverdale High School. As many of you know, I was a coach there for many years, 19 to 31. We won 221 games, lost 77 games, about a 73, 74% winning record. And one year I had a great player, Anne-Marie Lanning, and we were expected to win the whole thing when she was a junior or compete for a championship, and she got hurt. And the minute she got hurt and my players found out she was going to be out for 10 games, our morale went down. We were all just devastated. We were defeated. And I'm sitting around the locker room in the office one day with my coaches, and I said, man, I got to sell my players that we can win without her. I got to sell them on this opportunity that they've been holding back. See, when you work around a superstar every day, let me tell you what you do. You hold back. You ride their back. You let them carry the load. I said, I got to sell the players that this is their time to flourish and shine without her on the team, with her on the side. And I went in and I sold those 5 rules of a crisis. Why not? Why us? Why has this happened to us? What's our contribution to this? We got to get stable. We got to get help. We got to get busy. And we won 9 out of 10 games a year. And that really set us up to win the next year because we weren't so dependent on one player. Anne-Marie's one of my favorite players of all time, one of the greatest players of all time that played for me. But we didn't have her for 10 games. It's like you not having your best sales guy, or you not having somebody on your team that's a must-have. We just had to suck it up and get through it. And I remember somebody I think it was a story about Pat Summitt, that they called Pat Summitt once and said, I got to do this and I can't do that. And she said, I got one phrase for you: suck it up, Buttercup. It was like, hey, this is it, baby. You suck it up, Buttercup. You got to get better. And so for you, there's a departure from the ideal scene. That's a negative. How many of these do you have in a day? How many negatives in a day? How many negative thoughts do you have in a day? What do you say to yourself? The most important sale you got to make every day is to your own self. So here's what I tell myself every morning. I am a person of interest. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. I was in the Eastern time zone. I had to come back and speak at an event I didn't even know I was going to speak at. I was tired. I was supposed to be on vacation. I was supposed to be getting some time off because I hadn't been feeling good. My wife sent me up to the cabin to get my mojo back. And I had to tell myself, I am a person of interest. Straight out of my book. People are counting on me. I got to show up. I don't have a choice. I will deliver the goods. I want to play a significant role in the lives of other people. I will let go of my need to be right today. I will let peace be my umpire. I will build, maintain, and protect my confidence. I will be in the business of helping other people have breakthroughs today. People will come to me for transformation. Okay? My positive energy will be greater than any negative energy I'm going to face in a day. Why would I tell myself all of this in the morning? Because I got to sell myself to myself. When somebody's not sold on you, it's because you're not sold on you. I read body language. I listen to people and ask this question: why are you not sold on you? You got the goods. All you need somebody else to tell you for you to take action and do it. And so for you, when it comes to self-talk, guys, you got to ask yourself this question: what is your strategy to take every negative and turn it into a positive? Those that turn negatives into positives win more. Those that understand that we've got an ideal mental construct, a perfection, it's never going to be real. Just get it to 80%. Just get a concept to 80%. We got this new Total Growth Academy out we're working on every day. Here's the deal. We get it to 80%. There's more content in there than 95% of other people out there. Some people got 5 programs. We got what, Brandon? 25 programs. We got hundreds of hours of content. It ain't going to be perfect. But here's the deal. I want to leave you with this. There's a power in taking action. There's a power in your life to come into the day and knowing, look, it ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to fit in a box. It's not going to be in a bow. It's not going to be wrapped up. I just got to go take action and turn this negative into a positive. So what's the lessons for today? Here's the big ones to carry with you. And thank you for listening to Super Coach. Thank you to all the people that are bringing me in to speak. I'm flying to New Jersey tomorrow to do events up in New Jersey, Robbinsville, Red Bank, New Jersey. I'm going to be seeing some clients when I'm up there, and I'm up there coaching people who want to play at another level. Here's the deal. You got to replace. You cannot have two thoughts simultaneously. Not long ago, I'll be vulnerable with you for a minute. Not long ago, I began to have a tremendous phobia about flying. And I fly all over the place. And I just felt claustrophobic, and I just felt like you didn't want to get on planes. And it's a big problem for a guy like me who flies everywhere. And I heard Jimmy Evans say this. A person cannot have two thoughts at the same time simultaneously. So for every negative thought you have, if you will quickly replace that negative with a positive, you can't have two thoughts simultaneously. So every time I got on a plane, then I had to fly on like a little bitty plane, like a 12-seater. I had to replace my negative thoughts with a positive thought. Or I had to keep my mind busy so my mind wouldn't jump to a negative. And I trained myself that every time I had a negative thought, jump with the positive. It's just like training yourself that every time the devil comes into your life with something, a negative thought, replace that with a scripture. Be armed and ready to go with the scripture and offset that negative. When you have negative thoughts during the day, it starts with how you talk to yourself in the morning. What do you say to yourself throughout the day? You got to replace the self-talk, guys. You got to remember you are a person of interest. So for you got to know, how do you turn a negative into a positive? How do you take this departure from the ideal scene, this unwanted outcome, and actually leverage it for something much bigger? Your past is where all the good stuff is. People are paying you for your past experiences, your past education, your past mentors, your past struggle. And when you package all that up, somebody comes along and says, that past is very valuable to me. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. We got one more Kryptonite I want to give them. Let me give you one more, man, because we got three. I want to give you three. You can't figure out how to use your past. You don't see it as the raw material for a bigger future. You got the goods, but you can't package and sell them. And my goodness, I can't tell you how many people have this problem. Just like the guy I was talking to yesterday. He had all the ingredients. He just didn't know how to put a bow around them and sell them. You got everything you need. All you got to do now, package it up and sell it to the world. The people that turn negatives into positives are the ones that win the most. And they build a grit factor and a resilience that no matter how many times you knock them down, they just keep getting back up. Every week I come into your life. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. If you ain't had a coach, check me out, baby. CoachBurt.com. I got coaching programs for monster producers, which is my entrepreneurial coaching program, managers to coaches, and I got a brand new Total Growth Academy. It's got everything I do. Imagine getting this kind of coaching every single morning on your phone, on your iPad, on the go. We're going to give you all the coaching you need to help you elevate to another level. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Everybody needs a coach in life. Thank you so much this week for letting me be yours. Hey guys, I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and I'm looking for all of those people in real estate or mortgage or anything associated with buying a home to come to my Monster Producer Chicago Summit. We're taking this show on the road to the Windy City, baby, and I'm bringing 4 of my closest friends and monster producers. I'm bringing Carrie Ann Sear, on track to do $100 million of mortgage production. She'll be one of our speakers. Les Walden, who typically does 175 to 200 transactions a year for the Les Walding real estate team in South Carolina. What about Good Time Tommy Davidson, on track to do $20 million of real estate production with his unorthodox Good Time Tommy concept. And I'm bringing Chris Garrett, who went from 0 to double centurion, on track to do 100-plus deals per year, and the number 93 Century 21 agent out of 100,000. Will you join me in Chicago September 16th through the 18th for my Monster Producer Real Estate and Mortgage Summit? And me, I'm bringing the goods too. Everything you need to know about becoming a legendary creature. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Make plans now to join me at Monster Producer Chicago.